Welcome back to another episode of the LCR Media Podcast, where we get to know the pros. I'm your host, LCR Naylor Taliaferro, back at it again here with another great guest, Deanna from Relay. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me, Naylor. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's the spring rush is kind of slowing down a little bit here for us in Virginia, but we're still mowing, blowing, and going, cutting that grass, making that cash, all that good stuff. But
That's
yeah, but the thing that what makes me excited, I've been looking forward to this conversation every time the few times that I've gotten on the phone with anyone from the Relay team or watched, a presentation that you all presented and actually using Relay for my own banking and business. I haven't been more excited than like getting a Toro mower, because like I use Toro mowers my whole career. So like if there's a new Toro mower and they're like, "Hey, you want to try this out?" I'm like, "Absolutely." Like this compares to that. So you're in really high regard there.
I love that. And I remember when we first met and we were showing you what Relay looked like, Naylor, your excitement was so genuine because I know you're like, okay, when can we get off the call so I can sign up for this? Because this is so.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm like, where has this been all this time? I've been struggling with all this craziness, trying to stick to the profit first plan, 10 years ago when I heard about it from Mike McAllowitz. And it's just really it's kind of archaic. Or it was anyway back then. And I know there's banks in general, with all the technology and online banking and apps have obviously made it a lot easier than 10 years ago, but still a lot of them still have a long way to go. Like I've been using a big bank for so many years for all that time, actually for like longer than that. Like before I even met my wife, we both actually had another bank that then merged with another bank and created this big bank. I'm not going to name names, but you might be able to read between the lines there. But so we've been a part of that ecosystem forever.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating that when it comes time to create a business, and I mean that was okay, that was fine because you're just like, oh, okay, whatever, just get your checking account, savings account, whatever, blah blah blah. But when shortly after that, when I stumbled upon the Profit First plan, it became very challenging to
Mhm.
explain. And Mike even said this, in his book, like, 10 years ago. He's like, you have to find a bank that gets it. You have to find, he gave all kinds of options and things. Like the big banks typically aren't really with it and they got a lot of fees and all that stuff. So there is a way. And typically the most difficult way is probably going to help you with profit first, because it's going to be harder for you to access your money and all these things. So you're to make it as painful as possible, but at the same time you don't want it to be where you just don't even want to do it, you just give up. It's supposed to be more painful to get your money, not to just have it and get all these unnecessary fees. So anyway, with all that being said, when I heard about Relay, I was like, wow, this is where have you guys been all this time? So let's let everybody know what we're talking about if they don't have never heard of Relay yet.
Yeah. So Relay, we are an online banking platform. We are 100% virtual, and we're really a money management platform at our core. And we are the official banking partner of Profit First. So it's very exciting to have that title. We absolutely love it and rep it any second that we can. And the core basics of Relay are you can have 20 checking accounts. We connect to all of your tech stacks, so like your accounting software, your POS systems, your payroll, anything you need, we integrate directly because really at the core of your business, it's your bank, right? That's where your central nervous system of your business is. And if that doesn't integrate with everything else that you're using to run your business, you're probably going to experience a lot of friction.
Yeah, for sure. And how long was it before you or when you became a Profit First um affiliation or affiliate or partner?
Yeah, so Relay's been around for about 6 years now, and we have been the official banking partner of Profit First for the last year. And a lot of people ask, like, how did this happen? Did you roll out features just for Profit First? And Relay has always had the ability to open 20 accounts per business. That is just something that we've always wanted to give business owners because we think it's very challenging as a business owner to log in and see one lump sum and know what's going on in the business, right? You don't know what you owe, you don't know what you're owed, and how can you make financial decisions based on that? So we've always wanted to allow that feature. And so we have, and just kind of organically, through businesses coming onto Relay, they would say, have you heard of Profit First? You know, you're actually perfect for Profit First. We got to get you guys together. And so eventually we did meet Mike, of course, the author of Profit First, and also the Profit First professionals team. And it was just a matter of time before we made it official. So it's been very exciting. And from then, we've been able to roll out features specifically for Profit First users like you, Naylor, and it's been very exciting.
Nice. So that's funny that so people were using the platform before you were officially profit. So really, like, a big difference was like the preset template. There was no Profit First, where it was already had the 5 main accounts that Mike suggests, set up, and percentage, like that wasn't set up. It just had some of the other ones there, right? And people were just customizing it the way that they wanted for Profit First, is what you're saying?
Exactly. I like to look at Relay as like customizable banking. So whether you
Yeah.
want to follow Profit First to a T or you want to choose some elements of it, it's truly how I like to say, like, choose your own adventure at Relay with your banking setup. But yeah, it's totally customizable to how you want to run. And now we've just tailored it more, even more so for businesses that want to run Profit First, which is really cool.
Yeah. So for those listening that I don't know if I've ever talked about Profit First on my podcast over the last 3 years, if if often enough. So I mean, I've definitely talked about it over the 10 years, like on
Mhm.
social media, that especially in the beginning, the first several years when I was found out about it and was using it. Like I've kind of it's one of those things that we all mention, but I'm not sure, again, another good why I was so excited about Relay, because there's an opportunity to kind of re-engage the conversation of Profit First and how beneficial it is on so many levels. And so just for those that are listening that don't even know what we're talking about, just read the book by Mike Michalowicz, Mike Motorbike or something.com. You go to something he did, quick little thing, because it's hard to spell Michalowicz, but you could just type in the Profit First plan in Google. That's probably the easiest way, because sometimes when I'm in a rush, can't remember how to spell his name either after all these years. So I just type in the Profit First plan, and boom, there's all these things that come up on Google. But so definitely get the book, read it or listen to it, or both. Listen and take notes, on the book, whatever. But at the core of it is it's your profit first, right?
Mhm.
Even in our industry, or especially in our industry, we think about profit as what's left over after everything else, and a lot of times that's nothing, or it's not nearly as much as it could be, and that kind of decentivize business. Like, you're a business owner, you want to actually make money from your business, right? Like, okay, yeah, your bills might be getting paid and all that, and that's all great, but that's just a job then. Like,
Mhm.
as the owner, you want to actually be able to take money from your business for whatever it is, like
Mhm.
beyond your bills. Like, maybe you want to put down payment on your house, or a house, or a car, or you just want to take your family on vacation, or if you're single, you want to go on a vacation with your friends, or whatever it is. Like, every quarter you should be doing something with your quarterly profits to incentivize yourself to keep the hustle, keep being profitable, keep finding ways to be more efficient in your business. So if you do that, if you make your profit first, then you can do that. So the whole philosophy really is to distribute everything. You have your 5 accounts, but then you can customize it how much you want. You can get really advanced. There's the newer version of Profit First, where it's super advanced, and all these additional accounts, as he's learned even more over the years
Mhm.
and talked to so many more like of us and so on. Um, the bottom line is, you first get your percentage, whatever that is, even if it's only 1% that you can afford.
Yeah.
1% is something. At least you're putting your profit first, and that's going to accumulate, and it's going to help give you the encouragement to keep doing that behavior. And also, if you can only do 1%, then maybe that means something else is wrong in your business, that you need to tweak and figure stuff out. Your expenses are too high, this or that or whatever. You need to raise your prices because your revenue's not, like, it just helps you. The whole process is to help you see where your weak points are without sacrificing profit, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the basic concept is, put some money in your profit account first, and
Mhm.
then start distributing everything else. And basically, the last account is your operating expense account. So if you don't have enough money in that operating expense account for your operating expenses, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
That's Profit First in a nutshell. But there's so many more details, and Mike is such a great author. I actually recommend getting you can do both, but if you only want to do one, get the audio book, because Mike, narrates his own stuff, and he's hysterical, and he always does these ad lib things, and it's just a very unique experience when you listen to Mike narrate his own book. So I highly recommend that.
I recommend it too. And for those those people that are listening today and are thinking, a business book or like a book on cash flow is not really for me. Mike really, really makes it accessible to any type of business owner. And that's why it has worked so well. Like I bet 10 years ago, Naylor, you never thought that you'd be sticking with a method for that long and make it so that so many people across, the country also do something like that. And at its core, it's a mindset shift, right? It's not a budget, right? It is actually changing how you operate your business and putting you at the center of it, because a lot of small businesses fail, right? Unfortunately, that's the case. And you always want to put yourself last. But a lot of times, especially in your industry, you are the whole business, right? You're working solo for a long time. And if you're not pouring that back into yourself, how are you going to keep showing up for the business, right? You got to show up.
Yeah, absolutely. So after we got all done fanboying about Profit First and fanboying and fangirling on Profit First, and Mike Michalowicz, let's dive back into Relay and kind of go through like what does it look like? Like what, honestly, in the very first time I saw anything about Relay on Instagram or whatever it was, I was kind of confused. I didn't even know what it was, and I had to just kind of dig in a little bit further. So these kind of conversations and content that I'll be putting out, and that anyone else that you've worked with in the past and in the future, is to try and help clarify that, and to show why you should use Relay versus a regular bank or whatever credit union, whatever it is that you're currently using, to make things more easier for your online banking for your business. So what are some of the nuts and bolts, and like, what does it look like, and how is it different, those kind of things?
Yeah, great question. So, Relay, we are an online banking platform. So, we're 100% virtual, and all of our core services are free. So, whether that's opening one of your 20 checking accounts, creating debit cards, you've got your FDIC insurance, we connect to your QuickBooks Online, any of your POS systems. So, it's a bank that really understands your business, but you get some really great visibility and support. Like, especially when you're in the trades or you're in lawn care, you, like I just said, you are your own business, but you also are typically mobile, right? You're not behind a desk, you're on the road, or you're visiting different clients. And so having a bank that understands that but supports you that way is very important. So I think that's how we really show up for the trades industry, because you can bank from your phone directly in your car, right? You can do your Profit First transfers, you can deposit your check, you can create a new virtual debit card for one of your new guys on the road if you want. So it allows you everything that you're looking for from an online bank, but it's directly supporting your business, which is really cool. And not to mention, it is free. All of our core services are free, which is really awesome. Whether you're day one starting your business or 15 years into it, bank fees can pose a real challenge for businesses, especially ones that are seasonal. So why not find something that gives you no minimum balances or no monthly fees?
For sure. And for those of us that have grown or are growing, and we didn't just start out, or we're not just a solo owner operator, some of the features that I appreciate right out the gate, as I discover more and keep using things, using things in Relay, is before Relay, I always struggled with, like, okay, like, what do I do, like, with my guys? Like, do I get them like a gas card? Do I get a gift card? Do I do this, do that? Like, some banks, something, like American Express, like, oh, you can get, cards for your employees and all that. Like, there's different versions of that kind of blah. But like with Relay, like specifically, not only can you get like a card for your employees, crew leader, whatever it is, you can also attach them to certain accounts, so that they're not going to overspend, or it's not a credit card. It's a debit card that's coming from whatever account that is connected to that card. So if you make a sixth account, or one of the 20 accounts, is for crew leaders, or a specific crew leader, or whatever, depending on how big your business is or how you want to tweak it. And you can just keep changing it as you want as time goes on. And then they have their budget. Like, say it's, say that crew spends $400 a month in gas, about $100 a week. between filling up the truck and all the mowers and the mixed, all the mixed stuff. Let's
Mhm.
just say, so it's $400. So you can just put $400. I mean, obviously if there's more than that, more things, you can add that, but I'm just saying, like, just as an example, you
Yeah.
can just transfer $400 into, John, crew leader John's, account. And then now every time he needs to get gas, he uses that card.
Mhm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you can even get set up notifications, set it up so that you get notified whenever they're using the card. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can set that up. And what's really nice about this example specifically is you don't have to worry about, okay, I handed them my own personal credit or debit card, or, oh, now I have to go and reimburse them. That's all set up directly through Relay.
Or reload a gift card or who knows what. Yeah. I've
Exactly. You
done
just
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you have way more control and it's way more secure this way, right? And that's just something that's available directly within Relay. But we've also added on a receipt capture feature. So if you do have guys out there on the road, you can set it up so they get a text message immediately after making a purchase, reminding them to upload their receipt for you. So you have all the information you need, whether you're doing your own bookkeeping or you have someone hired to do that, makes that process a whole lot more seamless too, which is really, really nice.
And you guys you have integrations with like QuickBooks and some of the common
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah, we integrate directly with both QuickBooks Online and Xero. So you connect that bank feed directly there. You'll never have to reconnect it again, which is really, really nice and something that's very common if you are using a lot of the smaller and more local banks or credit unions.
Nice. So this is checking and savings,
Right.
right?
You got it.
um, what else are we missing here? I'm trying to think of all the great stuff. It's like overload on my brain. I'm trying to pick
I know
out
there's
the
so
the
many. It's
best.
like,
Yeah.
how much time do we have to mention it all, right?
Right. Trying to think of the best examples that
Yeah.
everyone listening, would benefit from, like that. I think that was a heavy hitter there for those of us that have employees or a crew leader. I guess you have to be at a crew leader status and beyond, but
I
people
think
do
another
listen.
one that was really cool, and you're probably forgetting it right now, Naylor, because there's so much to think about. But one that I remember you were like, "Wow, this is going to save me so much time," is if you want to run something like Profit First or Profit First on Relay and have multiple accounts, you can actually set up transfers to happen automatically through Relay. And
Right.
when you're working with a traditional bank, you don't have that option. Often you're going in there and manually transferring, or you've got a spreadsheet and calculations and all these things, and you've had to make it work, right? You've been committed to Profit First for 10 years now, and so you've made it work. But this is just a nice way to keep people accountable or to save you more time, right? If you have quite a few accounts that can eat up some time and it's easy to say, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and let it fall to the side. So it's a nice way to keep those happening. Or maybe it's not Profit First. Maybe you just want to focus on a savings goal. You can automate that directly in that platform, which I think is really, really helpful.
Yes, you hit that one. I do remember that. That was super exciting. And for those of you that are familiar with Profit First, you'll understand this and feel the pain, whatever it is you're doing. It's not this. Like my wife has been my bookkeeper or our bookkeeper for this entire time. And because that's just her job, that's her role. Like, her full-time jobs have always been in that role as well. She did payroll for me for a while too, but it's easy enough that I don't have like a million crews or anything. That I pretty much did it for the most part. But as far as Profit First, she would, like you said, she would have, a sheet, with all the percentages, and we would adjust those throughout the year and
Mhm.
every year and all that. So that would always have to be tweaked, and she would have to manually punch in, the percentages of the deposits, the total deposits. Okay, that's, $1,000 here, 750 here, whatever. And then manually go into the bank and then transfer all that stuff. And so to make it so those of you that understand this pain, to really clarify this or to send this message home, like you can set it so it literally transfers for you. But not only that, if you do want to do it manually, it already has the percentages in there. So it literally, when you put in when you have the amount, it automatically tells you, it calculates exactly how much is going to go or needs to go if you're going to manually do it yourself into the account. So there's no using calculators, there's no figuring it out, there's no messing it up, nothing. It's like, it's great. I don't, what's that?
Takes the guesswork out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
another great example of that too is, maybe you're not looking to do something like Profit First, but you have different business goals. Maybe you want to save up to buy a new mower, right? That really expensive one that just came out. You can create a separate checking account, and it can be, your mower fund, if you really want to call it that. And you can set it up so automated. Every every Monday, I want to send over $100 or a certain percentage of the deposits that are coming in to set aside for that fund. Another example is to do it for taxes, right? There's so many different things in the business where you want to earmark funds, but maybe you're not ready for, all 5 accounts of Profit First. So there's ways to kind of dip your toe into it, into the pool of Profit First and separate accounts, but there's lots of ways that you can utilize it.
For sure. Yeah, we always have a winter savings account, and at one point we had like a Christmas savings account for like Christmas gifts, the holidays, things like that. So yeah, you can, like you said, it's super customizable, but of course, and I've gone in and used it already, and have been going through it. So I've seen all these things, and there's the different. You don't have to profit first if you don't want to, but it's already set up there. There's also other formats or templates that are already set up, and you can just tweak those, change the names of things, like the nicknames for the accounts and all that. It just
Yeah.
very, very user friendly and customizable. And from using all kinds of other things over the years, and just trying to make it work so that we could be more efficient and know how much money we actually have, and be more basically managing your money properly. Because that's, quick side tangent for those that really want to think bigger. There's a lot of high level folks out there, motivational speakers, business gurus, whatever, that they say if you want to make millions, you need to know how to manage
Mm.
hundreds. Like, you need to manage your money now before you start getting all this money flowing into your account. So if you don't learn how to manage your money properly now, then when you start making millions, you're just going to be a mess. So Profit First Plan and Relay, online banking together is specifically is a great way to manage whatever money you have, whether you're just starting out or you have multiple crews or you're already at the $1 million revenue threshold and beyond. Like, now you can manage it all. Now you see exactly what you have, when, where, and all that. Like that's the whole point. Like, the whole point of Profit First is so that you can see what money you have in what account. You don't have this huge lump and just go buy a new mower, like, oh, I got 10,000 in this account, but yeah, you don't, but wait, hold on a minute. Payroll's got to come out, like all these things, like you gotta separate all that out. So what's left in the operating, that's what's for your operating expense. But we had a separate account for repairs and maintenance so that we could have a certain percentage in there. So if emergencies happen, a mower goes down, or you need a new trimmer or blower or something, you've got however much in there, $1,000 or thousands of dollars, whatever it is, and then you can just go. It might not necessarily cover if you need a new mower, it might not necessarily cover that, but then it'll fix repairs, but at least maybe you can put down payment. Or you can also, like, when ahead of time that you need, by next year I'm gonna need a new mower, or I'm gonna grow and expand, so I need another mower for another crew or whatever. You can use that account or other accounts like that to start saving and preparing, building that cash flow up that way as well. It's just, like, back to like the envelope system, for those of you that might be familiar with that. I mean, back in the day, like, putting money under your mattress, all that kind of stuff. This is just the real world 2024 way of doing it electronically and more efficiently and virtually and on your phone and all that. So this way, no one's ransacking your house and going under your mattress and taking all your money and all that stuff.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that. And I think what's nice to kind of add there too, Naylor, is a lot of business owners don't get into it. Most business owners don't get into business for the financial aspect of it, right? Probably that's probably the part that you know the least about. So it's a nice way to help you help yourself, or kind of self teach these good habits to start. And it can start on day one of your business. You don't have to wait till you feel like you're in trouble. It's something that you can start today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what other now I kind of already started going back to Profit First, but what other things do you have going on with Profit First? Do you have any Profit First professionals that are a part of the Relay team? Like, what's going on there?
Well, that is a great question, because I myself am a Profit First professional. So what's really great about that is when we launched the partnership with Profit First, we wanted to get some team members certified. And what's really cool about that is there's no other banking platform out there that is Profit First certified. So we always
Nice.
mention that's pretty exclusive. But what's great about that is when you come into Relay and you want to onboard, you have the ability to speak to a Profit First professional if you haven't before, which is really nice. So kind of just sets up the whole experience for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so what is, I mean, I've I mean, Mike's had podcasts, over I followed all his stuff for so long. It's been a little while now, but he had all kinds of content coming out, and so I
Yes.
heard all about Profit First Professionals and everything. I thought to myself, maybe my wife should be a Profit First Professional one of these days, all this stuff. But what is a Profit First Professional, and how could you specifically, because you're a Profit First Professional with Relay,
Yeah.
how could you assist anybody, and what would they even need to reach out to you for?
Yeah, so a Profit First professional is somebody that's gone through the certification of Profit First specifically, and you're trained on how to do assessments of the business, of how to roll out what type of percentages a business would work best with to start their allocations, and really just to overall educate what Profit First is and why and how people use it in their business. And what's really unique about a banking platform having a Profit First professional is when you come to us and you say, I'm here to do Profit First, I read the book, or I listened to the first chapter, I'm ready to roll it out. We understand exactly what you're looking for, and there are no roadblocks in the way, right? We're not asking you to say, why the heck do you need 5 accounts? We're not going to charge you for each account that you have. And we listen to customer feedback so that if you want a certain feature built into Relay and it happens to do with Profit First, we send that right up to our product team and we can implement it. So those are things that I haven't heard being offered at other institutions, which is really cool on the Relay end. And it's just nice to know that your banking platform gets you, right? They understand what you're trying to do and can help you reach those goals.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have come at a better time for me personally, because I was so over the whole big bank thing, and every then my wife looked into our Virginia Credit Union and all these things, and everyone, it's like the same thing. Everyone still has their own version of the same story. They all have some random fees or catches or whatever, and it's kind of frustrating. And I'm just like, man, like, what in the world? What this really, that's one of the many reasons why I was super excited to be able to connect with you all. But what are we missing, that, or is there anything different, other than no physical locations necessarily, than a bank?
Mhm.
Like, is there ATM? Is there kind of like, can you get any cash anyway, or ATMs or anything? Like, is there anything else that's different that anyone should know about?
So we do have an ATM partner across the state. So we work with all point ATMs. You can withdraw cash there for free. Some of those locations you can also deposit cash for free. And very soon we'll also be working with the Green Dot network, and that will allow you to deposit cash at most Walmart locations. So it's really easy to still work with cash even though you are a virtual bank. So we still have that. You can still deposit checks with us via mobile app. You can still send checks. We do free next day ACH payments as well. And something that is really cool that Relay offers, and I think is really great for people in the trades industry, is we can also require W-9s from your payees. So if you're working with a lot of independent contractors, which I know is very common, you can actually require that before they receive payment. And so you can store that and wait till the next tax season, but it's going to keep you more accountable and just create a process for you, which is really cool. So that's another differentiator for Relay, which I always like to mention, especially if you're in the trades.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I feel like we've covered a lot of great stuff here. Deanna, what was there anything that we're missing, or that I'm missing?
The only other thing I would mention is how easy it is to sign up. Because
Mm.
I'm sure everybody's thinking, okay, this sounds really great, but what's the sign up process like? I don't want to take out an hour on my lunch break to go sign up for a new bank account. It is fully virtual at Relay, and it will take you about 10 minutes. You can sign up. I believe, Naylor, you probably have a link for people to sign up on.
Hmm.
You can click on that. You'll provide your SSN, your ID, your EIN, your home and business address. That'll take you about 10 minutes, and you're usually approved within 24 to 48 hours. So it's very easy. And in order to switch over from the local bank or big bank that you're with onto Relay, we've also created something called an onboarding checklist. And the idea there is to help you set up for success using your Relay account. And you kind of mentioned earlier, Naylor, we've got that Profit First template, so you can create all 5 accounts at once if that's what you want to do on Relay, but you can connect it to your local bank. And once you do that, we'll actually pull a list of all of the recurring transactions at your other bank. So if you want to come and switch it all over to Relay, you have a list to work off of. So it'll help you with that transition, which is really nice. So That's what I always like to mention. And we've kind of mentioned a few times, Naylor, like, okay, I was with my other bank for so long. There's years and years in that relationship. And that might be something that's holding you back from looking at another option like Relay. But when you really sit down and think about it, other than a long-standing relationship, there's not more than that usually that your bank is providing you, right? There's always going to be challenges that you're facing, and you're there for the support of your business. And if you're not actually getting that, you should probably look elsewhere.
Yeah. Awesome. And that checklist is like right there, part of your onboarding, right? Like if you're on your computer and you're doing it, it's right there, step by step. Of course, you can, like move on to something else and come back to that. But like it just goes from step to step. Like, here, let's sync your bank account. Let's do this. And it's like super easy. I'm like, how do they even get all this information? This is epic. Like it's just all this great stuff. So and like you said, you sign up in 10 minutes. Of course, the link will be in the episode description, so you can do that. But the one last thing I wanted to ask, for those that are super excited, they want to sign up, they've only got 10 minutes, they want to get after it, but they don't know anything about Profit First. They haven't had a chance to, maybe they got the book, right after listening to this, but they haven't had a chance to read it or listen to it yet, but they want to start getting the ball rolling super quick with Relay. But they're like, so now what do I do? Like, I'll click on the Profit First template and there's my 5 accounts, but I don't even know what this means. Okay, the percent, I mean, it does really help starter proof it, right? It's got all the percentages already set and all that, but still, like, they're not even knowing what they're looking at. So is there any other additional resources through Relay that can help them through that, or what would you suggest?
Yeah, we actually have a lot of content that we put out, different webinars that are industry specific, to help you start running Profit First, or different questions you might have. So we have tons of resources like that on the Relay website. And we also run a bi-weekly webinar that also shows you how to implement something similar to Profit First and why people do it and how you can implement it on Relay. So we have lots of information, but further on down the line, if you want some more direct support for your business, you can always look into hiring a Profit First professional. This person can be your bookkeeper as well. So there are free resources through Relay, but also people that you can add onto your business to kind of help you out as well.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it. That sounds like we had a good 30 minutes of a lot of fun content and really introducing everyone to Relay. And hopefully you will go click on the link in the episode description so you can get more information. And of course you can just go online and look them up and check everything out that they have going on there too. And definitely check out the Profit First plan. Maybe I'll throw a link up in there too. But you can just Google Profit First plan and all the stuff will come up for that too. So lots of great ways, tools and resources for all of us now more than ever to help be more efficient in our business with our money, so that we can, I mean, that's the whole point, right? We're not doing this for free. So we got to get our money right so we can get the rest of our life right.
Exactly. It's a ripple effect, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you, Deanna. And hopefully, if anyone signs up, they will have an opportunity to talk to you, in another time, real time, if they need help from a Profit First professional.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me. I feel like we did 30 minutes of an unofficial Mike McAllowitz and Profit First fan club, but that's okay with me.
Well, hey, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's because it's more than just, banking. It's the whole mindset, like you said. It's all, and it all goes together. That's why I'm so excited about Relay and having fun using it and all that, because it just makes everything so much easier. So, but yeah, shout out to Mike McAllowitz for like the 5th time. Hashtag not sponsored, but it's all good.
But I wish I was.
Yeah, right. There you go. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you to the Toro Company for sponsoring the LCR Media Podcast and Relay, for sponsoring and being on this episode, so we can really explain and break things down for you folks that are listening. And until the next episode, this is the Lawn Care Rookie signing off.